Well, here I am, folks, on the steps of St Paul's, Flinders Street station behind me. And I don't think I've ever been quite so proud of the city that I was born into. The fact that there could be a demonstration that I could join viably at the age of 65 to show solidarity with the New Zealanders over the terrible events of Christchurch over the last few days, and then find that the whole demonstration was incredibly civilised, very courteous, and entirely law-abiding. So have a look with me and you'll see what I mean.
This all started on a warm autumn afternoon as just a personal attempt to show my city, Melbourne, to friends abroad. With 4.5 million people, it's Australia's second largest city, multicultural, multiracial and cosmopolitan. My coverage eventually exhibited a face of Melbourne that I didn't expect to convey. In Swanston Street, a table offered information about Islam from Muslims. This was the day after the Christchurch Mosque massacres, so their presence was significant. Further up Swanston Street, a mounted police cordon indicated increased security. A walk against racism had been organised up near the State Library, and it was coming this way. The march was enormous. 2 very full city blocks filled wall to wall with people of all ages, all races, all religions and differing politics, stung into sympathy for Christchurch. A crowd determined in its opposition to racism and its opposition to religious prejudice, feelings stimulated by shock, by sympathy and by compassion. This was no ordinary demonstration. It was sympathy for New Zealand and for our oppressed minorities. There was no difference of opinion here, no conflict, so it didn't make dramatic viewing for mainstream media. There was a greater depth of meaning to this, so I felt a personal need to record it for YouTube. For the first time in 2 decades, I felt compelled to join this march. People passing on the pavements were also urged to join us. Many did. Others shot photos and videos on their mobile phones. Slogans were chanted: "No pride in genocide," "Muslims are okay, racism out," "Refugees are welcome here, racists are not," and finally, "Say it loud, say it clear, refugees are welcome here."
Say no to racism! Say no to racism! No pride in genocide! 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 Refugees are welcome here! Racists are not! 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 Refugees are welcome here! Racists are not!
We made our way down Swanston Street and turned east into Bourke. There were babies in prams, women in headscarves, some Muslim, others just wearing the headgear in sympathy. There were imams in turbans, there were Jewish guys wearing yarmulkes. There were straights, there were gays, there were couples holding hands. Hope, love, determination. People of all ages, a few socialists, a few conservatives. A group holding a Turkish flag, others holding Aussie flags. The police were out in numbers, but they softened. They radiated a protective feel. Nobody showed any violence or aggression. It was something I'd not seen before. This was a united friendship march. One guy in particular was making a bigger effort than me to be there. I thought that some placards were a bit needlessly violent, but the anti-fascist message was clear. In Exhibition Street, we stopped to hear a few speeches, reminding us of the need for mainstream media to moderate their violent, racist and divisive voices, which too often they give a platform to.
This is a very, very deep moment, I think, for all of us here. And not just all of us here, people across the world. I don't think this is a Melbourne thing, right? First of all, I want to send my love, my heart to all of my Muslim friends, my brothers, my sisters, all across. And to be honest with you, this attack, right, wasn't unexpected. I don't think it was unexpected for any of us. If you're a refugee, if you're a Muslim, if you're someone that's used to seeing this on your daily, on a smaller scale, this wasn't unexpected for you, right? If you watch media, and if you see how media has been moving, right, in the last not even 10 years, it seems like forever, right? You can have white terrorists, and there are white terrorists around us, they walk amongst us. On the daily, they walk amongst us. But for some reason, the danger they pose is not the same as the perceived danger that a Muslim man, or an African man, or a black man poses. That's bullshit. And I'm sorry to use that language, but that's just the truth. If you're gonna have a watch list for Muslim brothers, right, for African brothers, right, for people that are standing up for themselves and speaking, right, if you're gonna have a watch list for them, you need to have a watch list for these people, for these white supremacists, for these murderers. This man wasn't crazy. This man doesn't have a mental disability. I don't want to see that bullshit. This man planned this for 2 years. He was very calculated. This is a smart man that knew exactly what he was doing. This is a man that walked into a place of worship. For Channel 7, for Channel 10, for media in general, wherever you are, because I know you're here. All of a sudden you disappeared. That's funny. We see the BS. We know exactly what you're doing. Stop playing both sides. Stop giving these people a platform. Stop giving these white supremacists a platform. You have to never come here. The people want to act like you're on their side as well. We're not stupid. We know this just makes money for you. We know you're going to continue doing this. And there's people that we'll never see. I'm telling you, there's people that you're never going to see. You're never going to see their faces. But they're the one giving the orders for this stuff to happen. It is planned. They have blood on their hands. We demand actual consequences for these people. We have to hold these people accountable. If we don't hold them accountable, we create an environment where this can happen again. Not even can happen again, because this is not the first time this has happened. It just happened in New Zealand now. That's why we'll see. This happens everywhere. This happens in Iraq. This happens in Syria. This is happening now and has been happening. It's just before it didn't affect the daily lives of the Western world. And now that it has happened in one of those cities, that's why we're talking about it now. No, there are many, many people dying on a daily. How do we come from a place where we run away from bullets just to come here and have bullets reach us and our kids and our children and our brothers? We will hold you accountable and we will not forget, regardless. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
Just coming up to the end of our speakers list, I just wanted to make one quick announcement in terms of what Tate was saying about holding these racists accountable. We sit there every day in the media and in the parliament making our lives hell. We need to actually know that this pressure has had an impact. Even in the last 24 hours, I've heard reports about our rally today. They've come out, Scott Morrison, he said Milo Yiannopoulos is actually not coming to Australia. That's because of our organisation. Our final speaker for today is going to be Matt Kunkel. He's from the Victorian Trade Union Movement. Trades Hall has played an important part today in helping us with this rally, with the truck, helping us to fund it. There'll be buckets going around to cover our costs that you can put in a donation. And also we've talked about putting aside some of that donation as well for the victims in Christchurch. So please think about doing that when the buckets go around today.
The violence of these vicious attackers is the final manifestation of the seeds of hate and division sowed by our politicians. Those in Canberra who have for decades stoked the fires of racism and fear cannot now simply offer hollow words to wash clean their consciousness. Their right-wing allies in the mainstream media do anything to grab eyeballs, even if it means spewing forth the most vile racism for shock value or for more cynical financial means. The uncritical reporting and amplification of bona fide goose-stepping fascists like Senator Anning and his political progenitor Pauline Hanson provide the fertiliser necessary for these seeds of hate to grow. There is a concerted attack on migrants in this country and around the world. And these attacks are not new, but they have become louder and more sustained as the wealthy elite try to hold on to their power atop a filthy system that does not work for all of us. They seek to keep us divided so we can fight for scraps. While they stay rich, they stay powerful.
They're the walking dead. We need to get them out of there. We need them here. We need them living in our communities. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thanks up, Sarah. We're going to wrap up the rally today. I think it's a very poignant point to wrap it up. The place that we're here outside the Liberal Party headquarters, people would know, actually, some people would know that they're going broke. And they are going broke. I think it's also because of their political policies. It's actually...
As the demo broke up, I scanned some of the placards defiant against racism, sympathetic to Christchurch. Something I'd never seen before were marchers admiring and patting the police horses, a friendly force on friendly animals with friendly marchers. Great to see. As I made my way home, for this day at least, I saw my city's soft and compassionate side. One of those Christian street evangelists of the sandwich board type was having a lively but friendly discussion with a Muslim. I thought, this is a major strength of Melbourne, its inclusive cultural diversity. On the same day, during a much smaller Moorabbin gathering, ultra-right Senator Fraser Anning was egged for a more divisive speech, Of course, that got the TV coverage, but our city demo had been bigger, friendlier, perhaps more meaningful. The message was, Christchurch, we're with you.